Hi, today's lesson is going to be on exponents. So this is going to be a little bit further ahead in your book, and I'm going to work right from the pages in your book. So let me share my screen with you. Okay, so I have a whiteboard that I'm going to be using to start with, and then I'm going to open up the book. Just trying to make the whiteboard bigger. There we go. Okay, so I am going to talk about exponents. Exponents. And you may have heard of exponents. And if you have, great. This might be a review for you. And if never you've heard of them, then this will be the first time you're hearing about them. So let's say I have the number 3. 3 is called the base. So this is going to be my base. And then there's a little thing called an exponent. So I might put a 2 here. And that is called my exponent. My exponent there. I probably should type that, right? I'll do that by drawing it, but too late, I already wrote it. Okay, so what that means is you take your base and multiply it by itself the number of times shown in the exponent. Let me show you an example of how that works. So what I'm doing is I'm taking this 3, the base, and I'm multiplying it by itself. How many times? The number in the exponent, 2 times. So I'm multiplying the base by itself twice. I'm not multiplying the exponent by the base. That would be 2 times 3, and that's 6. A lot of students do that, and that's wrong. 2 times 3 is 6 is not how you do exponents. You just take the base, the bigger number, and multiply it by itself, the number of times in the exponent. So we have 3 times 3 equals 9. So 3 to the, and this is how you would say it. 3 to the second power equals 9. So this is said 3 to the second power equals 9. Okay, I can move that over by it here. 3 to the second power equals 9. Now, what if I had this? 3 to the third power. That's how you would say it. 3 to the third power. 3 to the third power. How do you do that? Well, it's the base. What's our base? The big 3 times itself, the number of times shown in the little number, the exponent. So it's really 3 times 3 times another 3. So how do we do that? Well, we take them in groups of 2. 3 times 3 is 9. And then we take 9 and times it by the 3. 9 times 3 is equal to 27. So 3 to the third power is equal to 27. Let's try a few more. Let's try, change colors here. I want to do, blue. Okay, let's try 4 to the second power. What would 4 to the second power equal? Well, it's the base times itself. How many times? Well, in our case, this time it's twice, right? Because there's a little 2 for your exponent. So what is 4 times 4? 16. So 4 to the second power equals 16. What would 5 to the second power equal? It's not 10. You don't take 5 times 2. You take the base times itself. 5 times itself is 5, right? How many times? The number of times in the exponent, so twice. So what's 5 times 5? 25. So 5 to the second power equals 25. Okay, let's try one more. Change colors again. Let's do pink. What is 2 to the third power? It's not 6. Right, it's 2 times itself times itself again. Right, very good. So 2 times 2 times 2. So take it in groups of 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times another 2 is 8. So 2 to the third power equals 8. Okay. Trying to move my board around here a little. Okay, I'm going to clear. I want to show you actually one more thing before I share my screen with your book page. So let's find my color. What if we did this? 1/2 to the second power. How do I do that? 1/2 to the second power. Well, I do 1/2, the base, times itself twice. So it's 1/2 times 1/2, which equals 1/4. So the answer to 1/2 to the second power, another way of saying it is 1/2 squared, is equal to 1/4. What if I gave you 3/4 to the second power? How would you do that? We usually put parentheses around the fraction part. So we would do 3/4 times itself. How many times? Twice, the number in the exponent. Right. And then we just multiply across the top. 3 times 3 is 9. And across the bottom, 4 times 4 is 16. So 9/16. That's what 3/4 squared, or 3/4 to the second power, equals. So now I want to share my screen with you. Let me clear, and let me bring that up just a second. Okay, so example 1 is just showing us what I just showed you on the whiteboard here. It's showing you like 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 is 3 to the 5th power, right? And 4/5 times 4/5 times 4/5 times 4/5 is really 4/5. Where's my annotate here? 4/5 to the 4th power. Okay, if I gave you 5 times 5 times 5, that's the same as 5 to the 3rd power. Okay, so you can do it both ways. You can write the exponent in the base, or you can calculate what the answer is. So let's take a look at both sides of this. This is page 238 in your book, so pause the video, get your book, work these problems with me, and then come back. Okay, hopefully you paused the video and you have page 238 in front of you. So we have used exponents to write these expressions. 4 times 4 times 4. What is that the same as? Isn't that the same as 4 to the 3rd power, a little 3? So you always raise the exponent a little bit. Okay, let's skip ahead to 4 for a minute. What's 1/8 times 1/8? How do you write that as an exponent? Well, you would write 1/8 to the, and I always put parentheses around the fractions, 1/8 to the 2nd power. Okay, because it's 1/8 times itself twice. Now I'm going to go to number 3. How would I write that as an exponent? Right, it would be 6 to the 1st power, because I only have 1/6 there. So 6 to the 1st power is 6. What about number 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 5s. So it's 5 to the 6th power. Yay. Okay. It's clear. Now let's see it the other way. This is just talking about, we'll come back to this in a minute, but let's do number 6. So number 6 is 3 to the 4th power. So that's 3 times 3 times 3. Any more? Times one more 3. So now we take them in groups of 2. 3 times 3 is 9. And 3 times 3 is 9. And then we multiply the 9s together. 9 times 9 is 81. So our answer is 81. What about 1 to the 9th power? Well, that's 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1. Do I have more? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got to do 4 more yet, right? Times 1 times 1 times 1. How many do I need altogether? How many 1s do I need? Right, I need 9 1s. So do I have 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1 to the 9th power is, what's 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1? What's 1 times itself? 9 times. 1. Don't say 9. It's 1. 1 times itself is just 1. That one is 1. Okay, what about 2 fifths to the 3rd power? Well, that's, let me just change colors again. That, I'll do it up here. That's 2 fifths times 2 fifths times 2 fifths, right? 3 times the base. The base has to be written 3 times. And then I just multiply across the top. 2 times 2 times another 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times another 2 is 8. And across the bottom, 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times another 5. You may not know that off the top of your head. So how could you do that? Well, you would do 25 times the last 5. So you'd have to do it like this. So you're going to have to do the work. 5 times 5 is 25. I put down the 5 and I carry the 2. 2 times 5 is 10 plus 2 is 12. So that one on the bottom would be 125. So the answer to that problem is 8 over 125. That's the answer to this problem right here. And the last one is 12 to the 2nd power. How do I do that? Well, that's really 12 times 12. And what's 12 times 12? I hope you know this. What's 12 times 12? 144. If you don't know that, what could you do? Well, you could do 12 times 12 and write it vertically, and then you could do your multiplication, right? You could do 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 1 is 2, and then you could come over here to the 1. You have to start under the 1, put an X there so you don't start in that spot. 1 times 2 is 2, and 1 times 1 is 1, and then you add it up, and you get 4. 2 plus 2 is 4. 1 plus nothing is 1. There's your 144. So if you don't know your 12s, that would be how you would do it. Okay, so we have our answers. Fill them out in your book as we went along here. Erase some of these other ones here so we can just see the answers now that we know how we're, oops, I erased the wrong thing. I want to keep that one up there. Okay, I just want to erase these. Okay, there are your answers to your turn problems. All right, I want to go, let me look here. I want to do, clear all, the evens with you on your guided practice page. So this is page 240. So let's make a little bit of space here so that we have some writing space and we don't have such a busy screen here. At least a little bit more writing space. Let's take a look at this. So we have an exponent, we have the product, and then we have the simplified product. So we have 5 to the 1st power, which is really just 5. And then we have the simplified product is 5. 5 to the 2nd power is written as 5 times 5 the simplified product is 25. And I said I was going to do the evens. So let me just double check here. That's the odds. So I did the first one for you. I'd like you to do the rest on your own. Let me do number 2 with you and number 4. So I will close off the right side so we have more space for us to do our work. And let's take a look at number 2 at the top. So 6 times 6 times 6. How do I figure out the answer? Well, it's really 6 to the 3rd power, right? And that's all they want you to do. How many factors of 6 do you have? Well, you have 3 factors of 6. What is 3/4, 3/4, 3/4, 3/4, and 3/4 as an exponent? Well, it would be 3/4, and you might already know, put parentheses around it. How many times is it multiplied by itself? Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3/4 to the 5th power. Okay? All right, let's clear. Let's look at number 6. 8 to the 3rd power. Now they say find the value. When they say find the value, they want the answer. They don't want you to, it's already written as an exponent. They really want you to find the answer. So 8 to the 3rd is really 8 times 8 times 8. So what is 8 times 8 times 8? Well, I want to put a little bit more white space back here so that we have some calculation room. And 8 times 8, take them in twos. 8 times 8 is 64, and then that times another 8. So if we don't know what 64 times 8 is, what can we do? We can write it vertically. 64 times 8, just like that. So 4 times 8 is 32. So I put down the 2 and I carry the 3. 6 times 8 is 48 plus 3, 49, 50, 51. So altogether, that equals 512. So the answer to 6 is 512. 512. Okay, let's do number 8, 10 to the 3rd. Well, that's 10 times 10. Actually, let's do that. Let's do that on a white space here. Put that back for a minute. So that's going to be 10 times 10 times 10, right? 10 to the 3rd power, the base multiplied by itself, the number of times shown in the exponent. So take them in twos. 10 times 10, 100, and then 100 times another 10 is 1,000. If you didn't know that, you could write it vertically and write 100 times 10 and solve that way. And that would give you 1,000. So 10 to the 3rd power is 1,000. A little comma. Okay, let's do number 10. 1/3 to the 3rd power. So it'll be number 10. That's 1/3 times 1/3 times 1/3. Yeah. So we multiply those all together and we get 1 times 1 times 1, which is 1. And 3 times 3 times 3, take them in twos. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times another 3, 9 times 3, 27. So 1/27th. That's the answer to number 10, 1/27th. Okay, so far so good. Let's keep going. I'm gonna clear all now, so make sure you got this down, otherwise you can rewind the video. Okay, number 12. Let's scroll up a little bit here. So number 12, We're going to do 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20. So let's put a little white space there again. Okay. So number 12 says 0.8 or 0.8. I just dropped the 0 in front. 0.8 to the second power. What does that mean? This is number 12. 0.8 times 0.8. Well, that's like 8 times 8 in a sense, right? 64, but we have two numbers that have decimals. One decimal, one place decimal. So we have to move our number 2 places to the left. So 0.64. So that is the answer to number 12. Number 14, 1.1 times itself. Again, I'm going to write it vertically right away because I have to do it vertically. I know the answer, but I want you to see the answer. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. Put in X because we got to start under the second one. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. You might already know, but just in case. 1 plus nothing is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. And 1 plus nothing is 1. 121, but we're not finished. We have one number after the decimal here, and we have one number after the decimal here. That means 1 plus 1 is 2. So we need two numbers after the decimal down in our answer. So our decimal starts at the end, and we go 2 places to the left. 1, 2. So that answer is 1.21. So yes, you can square and cube decimals just as much as whole numbers. Okay, what I didn't talk about is number 15. So I'd skip that ahead and I said I'd come back to it. So let me tell you, whenever you have a number to the 0 power, 8 to the 0 power is going to equal 1. Okay, so any number to the 0 power is 1. If I had 9 to the 0 power, that would equal 1. What if I had 15 to the 0 power? What would that equal? That equals 1. Okay, hard one. What if I had 1,284 to the 0 power? What is that going to equal? 1. Any number to the 0 power always equals 1. So that's really easy, right? Whenever you see that little 0 power, you say, oh, that's just 1, right? What about 17? 1/2 to the 0 power. Does it matter if it's a fraction? No, it's still just 1. Okay, so whenever you see that little 0 in the exponent, you can say, oh, that's just 1. That's really easy, right? Okay. I did 17. I wasn't going to do 17. I was going to do the evens. Now I did the odds. Well, that's okay because I wanted to show you that anyways. So number 16 is 12 to the first power. 12 to the first power is equal to 12 times just 12, right? Just 12 by itself. So 12. Okay, now let's make sure I do the right ones. Okay, this is the even. Okay, let me clear. Erase. Get rid of my nice box here. It's okay. Okay, what is 18? 13 to the second power. 13 to the second power. How do I do that? Well, I go 13 times 13. So 13 times 13 equals, what does it equal? 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 1 is 3. Put my X. Start with this. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 1 is 1. Add up my partial products. Running out of room on the bottom. I get a 9. I get 3 plus 3. Be careful, this is adding now. 3 plus 3, 6, right? And then 1. Sometimes you get in the mode of, I'm multiplying. But then when you have to add, you're like, oh, I'm multiplying instead of adding. So it's 169. 169. And then number 20 is 0.9 to the second power. So it's 0.9 times 0.9. 9 times 9 is 81. And how many numbers after the decimal do I have? I have one number after the decimal here, and I have one number after the decimal here. So 1 plus 1 is 2 numbers after the decimal. So my decimal starts at the end, and I go 2. 1, 2. 0.91. I mean 81. 0.81. There you go. Okay, it's clear. So I have shown you what I needed to show you. The next page is this page. And what I'm wanting you to do for homework will be on Google Classroom. It's going to be part of these pages. So I will stop my share and I will see you next time. Bye.